Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user SigWeb01. Am I the a-hole for getting a DNA test to see if I share the same DNA as both my parents, even though I was demanded specifically by my mom not to do so since I was a child? So I, 19 female, have always wanted to get a DNA test after weird suspicion that I might not be related to both or at least one of my parents. My mom, 39 female, we'll call her Alexa, had always treated me and my brother, 18 male, who is only a year younger than me, very different. I would always get hit more than him. I would get in more trouble even if he did the same bad thing I did as a child. She was usually more affectionate with him than me. Alexa would always go through my iPod or iPhone growing up and hit me for any minor or big thing she'd find. Never went through my brother's phone even after he got his girlfriend at the time pregnant when he was only 16. He never got grounded more than a day, whereas I would be grounded for weeks on end. I was seen as the rebel child, but now that I'm older, I feel as though I did what a lot of dumb kids and teenagers would have done, just not as bad as most. Anyways, my dad, 41 male, has never had much of an opinion on me taking a DNA test and is very nonchalant about everything, mainly because Alexa low-key controls him in some weird way that works for them. We weren't close, and he was barely present. I've always wanted to get tested somehow to see if we share the same DNA, but when I lived with my family, I knew that'd never be possible. But I now live with my spouse 1,000 miles away from where I used to live. For almost 2 years now due to toxicity and not being happy. So I finally said, screw it, and paid for a DNA kit. When me and my wife recently went to visit my family for the holidays last month, we were playing a card game, and one of my cards says, drink if you have ever gotten a DNA test. And I drank, slowly, just to test and see Alexa's reaction. Her mood changed instantly to, "You're effing joking, right? Are you stupid?" And the table went quiet and my wife gave me the onlyest scared look. And I panicked because I thought she would have felt differently about it by now, considering I don't live with her, so it technically wasn't her decision. I said I was joking and awkwardly laughed. The reason why I thought Alexa would change her mind is because her oldest sister got a DNA test done August 2024 and it connected a relative. And it ended up being Alexa's and her sister's long-lost sister they didn't know they had. I guess it's different in this case because I'm Alexa's daughter, but still. I sent out my kit mid-December and I'm supposed to get my results back around the beginning to mid-February. I don't know if I even have the guts to open it when the time comes because it feels like ultimate betrayal to my mother. I promised her growing up that I'd never do it, and I did it anyway because she couldn't physically stop me. Oh, and another thing I thought I'd add. I have a different last name than any of my family members, extended included. My mom has her family last name until she got it hyphened to add my dad's last name. My father and my brother share the same last name as well. Whenever I would question it, Alexa would react defensive, never actually telling me where it came from or why I'm the only person from both sides of my family with that last name. I also don't have my parents' features, but my brother looks like a male version of my mom, Alexa. Both of my parents have freckles on their face and body. I don't have any. I have some green in my eyes, my family all have dark brown. This and some more minor situations. I am so used to being honest and open with my mother, so this feels like a huge stab in the back that I can't help but feel guilty for getting a DNA kit to begin with. My curiosity was eating me alive. It was an impulsive purchase to give me peace of mind. I'm stuck between telling my parents about the DNA test regardless of what it says, if I even decide to see what it says. With that being said, am I the a-hole for purchasing something against Alexa's wishes through my childhood that could potentially ruin family relationships? Well, first of all, I'm so sorry that your childhood was so abusive. Your mom, or Alexa, whatever you want to call her, sounds like a horrible human being. And I'm so sorry that you still feel some loyalty connection to this person. But to your question, OP, no, you're not the a-hole. Of course you're not. Look, I would say the only reason somebody wouldn't want you to get a DNA test is either because they're incredibly paranoid about what DNA labs can do with your sample, which is a valid concern in my opinion. Let's not go beyond human ethics and what we can do. But also, the other reason would be because they're trying to hide something from you. But regardless of their motivation for trying to stop you, you are free to do as you please. You've moved out of their home, you're married, you're starting your own life. If you want to read the results and publish them everywhere, you can do so. If you want to keep them private, you can do so as well. The decision is yours. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's check out the community comments. Not Beautiful 3500 says, not the a-hole. Your mom is hiding something from you and you deserve to know. Find out what it is and then decide from there. Kiyomuno1 says, not the a-hole. You have every right to know. If in the event one or both of your parents aren't actually your bio parents, you may need to be able to learn about your bio parents for health reasons later on in life. If they are both your parents, then I don't know why your mom freaked out. But you're an adult, so open the results when you get them and decide what your next step is from there. Mr. Shady says, yeah, so my mom was against DNA testing. Turns out she had an affair and my sister is actually my half-sister, not the a-hole. And Divwidow says, you sound like an affair baby. Mom got knocked up. They decided it would just be easier to pretend you were dad's baby. I'd love an update after you read the results. Opie's edit. Alexa, my mother, claimed at the delivery room when giving birth to me, nobody was at the delivery room. Then later, when brought up again, she claims her mom and her two sisters were there with her. She claimed my dad was not in the delivery room because he was sleeping at his home. But then years later, she told me they were broken up when she had me and was pregnant with me. But my dad was there throughout it all when it came to my little brother's delivery and her pregnancy. Alexa had also randomly told me about how her ex-boyfriend had tried reaching out to her 2 to 3 years ago and she blocked him and ignored it. I tried asking why he'd try to reach out after all these years and she got defensive and randomly didn't want to talk about it. Another odd interaction we had once was when I was much younger, I asked about Alexa's boyfriends before my dad. She told me she didn't want to tell me about him because she thought I'd say something stupid. She told me about him after I kept pushing, and she told me she got pregnant by him, but she had a miscarriage. She didn't say how it could have happened, but she just did. Then I made a silly joke as a kid and say, imagine he's my dad, as I'm always making jokes about me being adopted. She got really angry and yelled at me for saying that stupid crap. Also, Alexa has always been so secretive and weird about my documents whenever I needed them for school, etc., and always refuses to give me my birth certificate because I'll lose it and I'm irresponsible. Alexa gave me all my documents other than my birth certificate. Now that I think of it, I've asked for it God knows how many times, but I don't think I've ever seen it before, but I will have to check to see if I possibly have it and may have skipped past it. Opie's edit too. I will be getting a new birth certificate to find out whose names are on there. It doesn't necessarily mean if my dad's name is on there that he's not my bio dad. I did get my last name fully changed when me and my wife got married, considering my last name was of no significance and had no meaning. This won't interfere with the results, right? Note, guys, you do not need a birth certificate to get married. Look it up. All they asked for was mine and my wife's proof of certification. We only used our IDs. Opie's in-post update. First off, it's been 3 days since I last posted. I appreciate everyone for the help, comments, and opening my eyes to other possibilities to the situation that I didn't think of. I also apologize for any confusion or if I do something wrong. This is my first Reddit post and story. Anyways, I took into consideration what most of you said and took it upon myself to order my own birth certificate. After I texted Alexa 2 days ago for my birth certificate and after her hesitating to send it to me and having to explain why I wanted it, she said she will send it. It's been 2 days and I haven't heard from her. Alexa went on a trip out of state today and usually texts me when she takes off from a flight or lands. I got nothing. She's been silent. So I don't think she will be sending it to me. So I ordered one that should be coming February 17th, estimated time. For everyone telling me to have my brother take a test, I will try my best to have him take one for me as well. The test I took was the Ancestry DNA test. I responded to some telling me to talk to him about getting the test done for himself, and I know he will do it for me when I explain in depth as to why. He knows how Alexa is and how she's been with us growing up, especially with me, so he would do it if it meant helping me with something like this. My results should be in by February 7th, estimated time. Thank you for all the people who privately messaged me with support and for helping me as well. Alright, so there's definitely something going on with Alexa. Now let's move on with the first of 2 updates we have for this post. Hi, it's been 11 days since my last post. I just wanted to give an update for everyone who has been asking for one. I was supposed to get my results in today for my Ancestry DNA test, but it got delayed and won't be in for about 2 weeks now. However, I ordered myself my own personal copy of my birth certificate since Alexa, my mother, refuses to send me mine. This Tuesday coming up will make 2 weeks since Alexa and I have spoken, which isn't normal. The most she has gone without talking is 3 days, and that's not very often. Alexa has since ghosted me since I texted her asking for my birth certificate. 2 days after our last conversation about my birth certificate, Alexa left on a trip for a few days. Alexa did not text me, but she chose to text my brother. That doesn't even reply to her when she does. Not that she had to, it's just not what she does. The day she got back from her trip, she did not reach out to me or let me know when she landed, which just leaves me with so much more suspicion. Everyone was telling me to reach out to my brother and talk to him about getting an ancestry test done for the next time I see him, without Alexa knowing, of course. I called my brother and told him briefly what's going on and how I've had no contact with Alexa and have been getting ghosted for almost 2 weeks. I asked him if I can buy him a DNA kit for him and he can do this for me so I can see how much, if we're related. He surprisingly said yes, that he's been wanting to do one, just to see his background. He was more okay with it after I told him it was for free and I'd be paying for it. So we agreed I'd buy it, and when he comes to my state to visit me and my wife, to prevent Alexa from seeing or finding out about it, we will do it then. Also, Alexa tends to send me a TikTok post or an Instagram reel probably about 10 times a day at least. She hasn't sent a single one, but is active because I see that she still reposts. I responded to one of her posts she sent me a day after our conversation about my birth certificate, and she left me on scene. I don't know what is going on or what Alexa thinks she will achieve by ghosting me. For me to probably potentially find out the truth eventually, but this will most likely strain our relationship. My 20th is in 2 months, and the last time we spoke on the phone 2 weeks ago, she wanted to call me back and arrange something for her to come out to see me. She has yet to do that, but I don't even know if I want that to happen anymore. I'm lost about whether or not I should reach out, but I'm too pissed to even have a calm and productive conversation with her. Thank you for everyone who messaged me privately and for all the helpful and kind comments. Okay, and now let's move on to the final update to see how this story ends. Hi everyone, I'm going to refer to my mother as my mom. Everyone kept calling my post fake for calling my mom Alexa, so I will be calling her my mom. On to the update. I got my results yesterday at 6 a.m. As soon as my wife saw the notification that they came in, she woke me up and I haven't been able to sleep since. When I opened up my ancestry test, I immediately went to matches and noticed I only matched with people on my mom's side that I recognized. But I matched more with a woman on my father's side that I had more of a match with compared to my mom's sister. I didn't recognize the name at all or any of the names that came up on my father's side of the family. I reached out to my aunt and my dad's mom, grandma, asking if anyone's ever done a DNA test. My tia said yes, multiple of them have. My concerns only grew even more after that. She spoke to me for a little, then my grandma, and Tia said they'd talk to my parents for me and tell them to call me. Mind you, it's been 2 weeks since me and my mom spoke, so I was crapping bricks. I answered my mom's call and she told me the truth with my dad in the room absolutely sobbing in the background. You guys already know where this is going. My mom is explaining to me that my father is my father because he raised me and loves me. But when she was 19 years old, she got pregnant by a man 10 years older than her. She met on vacation where she used to live. When she came back to her home state, she found out and told him over the phone that she was pregnant. My mom didn't want him to be a part of my life because he didn't take my mom serious when she was 19 and he was like 30. She, at this time, reconnected with my dad that raised me, and they began dating again, but she told him that she and him couldn't be together because she was pregnant with another man's baby. My dad stepped up because my mom decided she wanted my bio dad entirely out of the picture, and my dad loved her and wanted to stay with her. My dad was crying and asking if he was still my dad. That broke me. My mom answered questions I had about him, and he still lives in the state that they met at, and 2 more kids. I have a little sister, a year younger than me, and an older brother who is 30 years old. I've since been in contact with my bio dad and have been getting to know each other and telling me so much about my brother and sister, which I now contact, and I adore them both. Things feel as if I've known them my whole life. I made it clear to him, of course, that I want him to be patient with me and that I already have a dad who I will only ever see as my dad, so I call him by his name. I have the same features as all of them and look so identical to both of them. I get my eyes from him as well. My bio dad has some very strong features. I do need space from my mother for now because it's a lot to process and come to terms with the fact that she treated me the way she did just because I look like my bio dad. I love her, but it's just a lot, and people have been texting and calling to tell me they still love me, blood or not. It's all just so overwhelming. On that note, I will be going to the club this weekend, so thank you for all of the supportive and kind comments. I didn't think my post would get millions of views, but I'm happy my story interested and intrigued many people. I'm sorry for any typos. Well, OP, it sucks that your mom treated you the way she treated you because of who you look like, which had nothing to do with you. I'm truly sorry, and it's a good thing that you're taking space from her. But now, on the positive note, you know the truth about your origin story, and now you get to meet your siblings and establish a connection with your bio dad. And it's also a great thing that your dad is still there for you and still wants to be there for you. You've got a lot of people that love you, OP. That's the key takeaway here. So here's wishing you the best. Thanks for sharing and take care. And now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge and it's by user deleted. Roommates stopped contributing, so we left them nothing. This happened during my junior year of college. I, Claire, lived with 5 other women. I'll call them Abby, Brooke, Danny, Ella, and Fran. When we signed the lease on the house, we agreed to a 1-year deal. June 1st, May 31st. The house was off campus and unfurnished, so we needed things to make it feel like home. Prior to moving in, we all sat down and decided what we needed for the house and who was going to bring what, and also settled on a chore schedule. We also decided that we'd have a household supply fund set up so we could buy things we all would use like toilet paper, paper towels, dish detergent, and laundry detergent. As it turns out, Danny, Ella, Francesca, and I brought most of the stuff we needed, like a couch, small dining table, dishes, silverware, drinking glasses, cookware, food storage containers, etc. Things went pretty well during fall semester. Shortly after that, however, things started to decline. Abby's boyfriend Andy basically moved in with us, and the 2 of them started acting like they owned the place. Left a dirty dish in the sink, they'd leave a passive-aggressive note about how rude it was to do that. Come home after the library closed at midnight, Abby and Andy went to bed at 10, and if you woke them up, there was hell to pay. Pretty soon, Brooke and her boyfriend Brad were acting in much the same way. By early February, it was clear to Danny, Ella, Fran, and me that we do not want to live with Abby and Brooke another year. The 4 of us found a different off-campus place and signed a lease. We let Abby and Brooke know, and from then on, the 2 of them, plus their boyfriends, went from partial jerks to complete jerks. They'd do things like stop the clothes washer mid-wash, take our clothes out, dump them on the floor, and start their own laundry. They'd use up all the hot water by taking super long showers. They'd write "Return to sender" on our mail. They destroyed flowers our boyfriends sent or brought to us. They refused packages. They stopped contributing to the shared supply fund and stopped doing chores. About a week before Memorial Day, Ella got a call from the landlord on our new place saying the previous tenants had moved out and we could move in early if we'd like at no charge. Danny, Ella, Fran, and I discussed it and decided to get out of our current house as soon as possible, but didn't tell Abby and Brooke of our plans. So Memorial Day weekend rolls around and Abby, Brooke, and their boyfriends head out of town to go camping while the rest of us put our plan into action. With the help of friends, Danny, Ella, Fran, and I got all of our stuff moved out. Now, when I say all, I mean all. Living room furniture, dining room furniture, dishes, silverware, cookware, food storage containers, baking supplies, shower curtains, rugs, lamps, vacuum, broom, dustpan, etc. We also decided that since neither Abby nor Brooke had contributed to the share household supply fund since March, the toilet paper, paper towels, dish detergent, laundry detergent, and so forth was ours. So we took all of that. Abby, Brooke, and their boyfriends were shocked to return from their camping trip to an empty house. What made our petty revenge even sweeter was that on their way home from the camping trip, all 4 of them got food poisoning and were really, really sick. The scathing texts we got about moving out unannounced and taking all shared household goods, especially the toilet paper, priceless. Danny, Ella, Fran, and I are great friends and still get a good laugh about the situation about 12 years later. None of us has heard from Abby or Brooke since graduation. Wow, OP, this wasn't petty at all. I think it was absolutely fair and just. And some people might say, you slipped away when they weren't looking. Yeah, but you know what? When people don't respect you, then they don't deserve your respect. Nicely done, OP. And it's also great to know that the friendship between the 4 of you is still strong and